Hello everybody, it's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. I'm so glad you guys could join me for a creative juice idea today. Guys, this sketch is so easy to create with. And what I love about today's video, it's actually a double feature. We've got two cards to share with you using today's sketch layout. Now let me show you, it's a very simple one. You see we've just used a little strip of designer series paper to kind of decorate it. Just a few supplies, very minimal supplies. I think you're gonna like today's card and the double feature, so let's get started. I'm going to be using Blackberry Bliss as my card base today, and this is cut 7.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So a little bit different measurement than what you're used to. You see, we're going to have a little open area here. In that, we're going to use a piece of the Petal Promenade Designer Series paper. That is cut 1 inch by 5.5 inches. For the front and the inside of my card, I have two pieces of Whisper White. These are cut 2 3/4 by 5 inch. And to polish it off, I have some powder pink ruffled ribbon. Any ribbon's going to do, but I thought this one just lent itself nicely with the Blackberry Bliss and with that Designer Series paper. I'm going to be using the beautiful Promenade stamp set. It goes so well with the Designer Series paper. We've got several sentiments, some really great images in this one. And my two ink pad colors today, Blackberry Bliss and Blushing Bride. We're going to begin with our stamping. I'm going to use my Blackberry Bliss ink pad, and I'm going to start with this floral image. And I'll stamp one down at the bottom, one here at the top, and at the top of my second one. We'll leave the bottom alone. Now let's come in with the Blushing Bride, and we can add our sentiment. I'm going to use the sentiment, praying that this difficult road leads you to a beautiful destination. This piece here is my focal image, my front image. We're going to stamp this right here. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm also using my Stampin' Mat underneath me. I think it gives, when I'm using photopolymer, I think it really helps. I'm going to use this little image. It's just some little lines. We're going to ink that up in Blackberry Bliss, and I'm going to stamp that right underneath my sentiment. The sentiment for the inside of my card is "You're stronger than most." We'll stamp that right here. I'm going to take that same little kind of embellishment stamp and stamp it right there at the bottom. Guys, all the stamping is now done. I'm going to put snail adhesive on the back of my Designer Series paper strip. We're going to add that right here. And you can see that my cardstock is going to, come straight over to that. We're going to now adhere our inside sentiment. And you'll see that that centers up here in this area. Now, to work on the front image, let's bring in that ribbon. I am simply going to tie a knot right in the center of the ribbon, just like so. I'm now going to take the ribbon, and I'm just going to adhere it on the back of my card. I'm just going to do that with some snail adhesive. We'll be securing that down with some Stampin' Dimensionals, so I'm not really worried about it moving around. Now that we have that done, we're going to bring in those dimensionals. And this is a larger focal image, so we do want to make sure we have plenty of dimensionals on this. Now let's add a couple right here. I just want to secure down that ribbon. I don't want it to come off. All right, let's go ahead and peel off the backings, and we can add this to the front of our card. And you can see that is going to center up right here in that flap. A beautiful card, a beautiful layout. And guys, today is actually a double feature. I have another card to share with you. And this card features the Friendly Conversation stamp set. So it's kind of fun to see the same card done very differently. You can see I've used Berry Burst and Lemon Lime Twist, and I added some of the In Color Designer Series paper to this one. Love the bright colors of this card. Talk about an easy layout. It just doesn't get any better than that. And I'm sure you can already think of stamp sets and sentiments that you already have that will fill those little spots just perfectly. A great way to use up some scraps of your designer series paper too. Am I right? Okay, now listen, if you want some information about today's card, perhaps you missed those measurements and you'd like to get them, here's what you can do. Go to simplysimplestamping.com. Look for the May 2nd, 2019 blog post. I'll have photos of both cards there for you. And like I said, all the measurements and the supplies that I used on my cards. And that way, if you'd like to order any of the supplies needed, all you have to do is just click a pick. Guys, I would be so tickled to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Remember, just go to simplysimplestamping.com, May 2nd, 2019. That's where this video will be, and that's where the card will be. I hope you guys will check it out. Hey, if you liked today's video, and I sure hope you did, if you did, give me a thumbs up on YouTube. I always appreciate that. And if you haven't already become a subscriber, I would love to have you as a subscriber. Just click that big red subscribe button. It's hard to miss. It's big and it's red. I would love to have you to be a part of my channel. Guys, thank you again so much for being here. Make it a fabulous day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.